Hello loves, welcome back to Avalon. So this is going to be a full moon check-in because it's that time of the month again. Today we have a full moon in Libra, and like you know, full moons are culmination points, so things are going to wrap up. But with the full moon being in the sign of Libra, this is illumination that I really look forward to since quite a few days now here. So I'm going to give you some info on this lunar energy here, and then we're going to see what Spirit has to say and what's in the cards for us today. So with this full moon in Libra, we have illumination that is centered on balance, relationships, and the tension between your own needs and other people's needs. So it's a classic culmination moon, like I said, a good time to notice what has come to a head and what needs to be adjusted, closed out, or released. Full moons point to things that need to be wrapped up. So this Libra full moon will put partnership, fairness, and harmony in the spotlight, while the Aries sun opposite the moon highlights independence and self-definition. So that means this lunation often brings relationship dynamics into sharper focus, especially where compromise, boundaries, or honesty are overdue. I personally believe that this is going to be a very clarifying full moon for us that will push us forward to make more empowered choices and put our energy towards emotional honesty here. And at the same time, it can make imbalance more visible so that we can correct it rather than ignore it, which I think is very positive and beneficial for us here. So themes are going to be, relationship, revelations, decisions, or needed conversations, a strong need to rebalance giving and receiving. Tension between keeping peace and speaking plainly could also come up, and definitely look out for some relationship epiphanies here, especially if you're on the twin flame path, as I think that this Libra full moon is going to bring some conversations up and some honesty to the table here, which I know a lot of divine feminines have been waiting for. So this could definitely be a time where your divine masculine reaches out to you again. Maybe it's the end of a separation stage for you guys. You know that better than I do, but this is definitely something that could come up for you here. A specific journal question that I would ask myself, or that we could all ask ourselves, is where am I over accommodating and where am I not listening well enough? Because that question fits the Aries Libra axis especially well, because this full moon is about finding a healthier middle between self-assertion and cooperation. And with this phase of the moon occurring at 12 degrees and 21 minutes of Libra opposite the sun at the same degree of Aries, it affects people with personal planets in points at 8 to 16 degrees of the cardinal signs most significantly. So if you're an Aries, a Cancer, a Capricorn, or of course a Libra, this is going to be a full moon for you that is going to most likely affect you in the most significant way. But enough of that, let's get into the cards. I'm going to start, like always, with an overall moonology card to see what Spirit can tell us about this full moon energy. Spirit, please give us more info on what the collective can expect here with this full moon energy. Also keep in mind that the energy of all full moons as well as all new moons is going to be present 3 days prior, but also 3 days after the initial day where the full and new moon show up. So if you watch this reading maybe 2 or 3 days after I post this, it's still going to be relevant. What needs to be brought to light, Spirit? What do we need to pay attention to with this full moon in Libra? Thank you. Okay, 2 cards wanted to show themselves here. The first one is communication is key, new moon in Gemini. And we also have full moon in Pisces here, balance, spirituality, and practicality. So right away, I'm getting more clarification on what I just talked about with an important conversation coming your way. I feel like Spirit wants me to point you to communication here and the fact that it's either you or a specific person in your life who have something important to say. If you are this person and you kind of put off communicating something to someone, Spirit is saying that this full moon in Libra would be a perfect time to have that conversation, even if it's a bit difficult. But the Libra energy is definitely going to help you to keep a balance here. And that ties into the other card, which is balance, spirituality, and practicality, which you might be with this full moon in Pisces in a little bit of a dreamer energy and need to ground yourself a little bit. I'm getting a message of giving into some grounding practices here, like taking a walk in nature or meditating, finding a way to calm your nervous system and ground your nervous system in order for you to have that maybe difficult conversation that's been on the table for quite some time. Spirit is telling you to address whatever you need to address and to speak your truth and show that other person who you truly are and be authentically yourself. As you can trust that if that other person is for you and supposed to stay in your life, they are going to be able to understand your point of view and understand where you're coming from. But I right away want to get into more tarot detail here, because this is definitely a message on finding a common ground and having maybe a difficult conversation that needs for you specifically here as you initiate this, or the other person, to come from a very responsible, mature, and grounded place. So this could also be a sign that you've had a conversation with a very important person in your life in the past and it didn't go so well, because this person wasn't completely conscious and couldn't completely understand and comprehend what you were trying to explain to them. But since then, I feel like a lot of time has passed, and especially in Pisces season here, which occurred in February and early March, there has been a shift with this person where they have become more aware and more conscious of their choices and actions, and also reflected upon their past behaviors. So I'm getting a dynamic here where there's a very important person in your life, and keep in mind this is a general reading, so obviously apply it where it fits. This could be a family member, this could be a good friend, an acquaintance, a colleague, another student, or your partner, or again your twin flame, soulmate, and there's something that's still up in the air that needs to be talked about in order to get it out of the way. There seems to be this elephant in the room that needs to be addressed, and maybe both of you guys have put that off for quite a while. Maybe you had a conversation with that person in the past where you initiated that conversation and it didn't go so well because your person wasn't open to it, and I see that that has now changed. So between Gemini season of last year, 2025, and this Pisces season that we had in 2026, there has been an up-leveling happening for this person here, and they see your side of the story more clearly now, and they want to address something just as you had addressed something to them in the past, is the energy that I'm getting. There's a person here who feels a strong urge to set the record straight. So let's get into more tarot here. That was fast. Thank you, Spirit. What can you tell me about this energy? So the first card that came out here right away is the Chariot. So there's literally a person on their way to you. The Chariot is a card of success, breakthroughs, even abundance, but it's mostly, on the traditional tarot card, you see the Emperor on the Chariot. So this is divine masculine energy. This could be counterpart energy for you guys, or if you are wondering about your soulmate or your twin flame, there maybe has been a separation stage and you were wondering how and when it's going to end, or if this person is going to show up in the near future. The answer is yes. This person is on their way to you, and the Chariot is very fast movement, so you can definitely expect them reaching out maybe on this day today, which is full moon day, or within the next 2 to 3 days is what I'm getting. But tell me more here, Spirit. Tell me more about this energy. Okay. So the first cards here were the Tower. Wow. The Tower, followed by the Nine of Swords. We also then had the Five of Cups. And the Ten of Wands. Wow. So this person that I'm seeing here, again, could be you, could be the person that you're inquiring about. They have been thinking about this for quite a long time. Again, with the Tower following up the Chariot here, this is very fast movement. This is most likely going to come as a surprise to you. This person is suddenly going to reach out. This could be a situation where they call you when you least expect it, or they just show up on your doorstep if they know where you live. They might go to a place that they know you frequent a lot in order, in hopes to run into you here. But the Tower is a surprise, it's a sudden shift. The Tower, in terms of timing, means right now. So something is most likely going to happen, maybe even as you're watching this video, where this person is going to reach out to you, and they have been thinking about it here for a very long time. They have been on a thought carousel, so to speak, going over the situation in their mind so much in the last few months is what I'm getting. So when you felt like this person was kind of nonchalant and they didn't really care about you and are completely disinterested and don't care about your feelings at all, that's not true. This person is literally going insane. They're so worried about your reaction here, but they know that they can only ever leave this worried place if they just do it, So it's torture for them. It's like the only way that they can free themselves from that kind of worry is actually going for it and reaching out to you and having that difficult conversation. And it frightens them. It's definitely very, very difficult for this person to articulate themselves, to communicate what they, have on their mind, but especially what they have on their heart. So this could be a person that in the past was completely neglecting their feelings for you, or was having you believe that they don't feel anything for you, when the opposite is true, So they have been overthinking this for quite a while, and their thoughts hold them back a lot, the logic for them gets in the way of actually approaching you. So I get that they wanted to talk to you since a very, very long time, but then their thoughts always got in the way and they stopped themselves from actually reaching out. But with this full moon in Libra energy, where again, we also see a rebalance in relationships and a rebalancement of karma even, I feel like you're getting your good karma here for trying to save the situation and make sense of it and heal the connection in the past. And it comes through this person now coming back and setting the record straight with you, even though they are very, very worried about how you will react and what you will say and whether or not you're open to what they have to say. With the Five of Cups and the Ten of Wands, this is a burden for them that they have carried for a very, very long time. The Five of Cups is a card of sorrow, deep regret, even shame. So they might feel ashamed about how they acted the last time you guys have spoken, and have realized over the last few months where they maybe opened up more to spiritual understanding of life here, as they might have been going through their own awakening here. I could have handled that situation a lot more mature and a lot better actually. And I know I hurt my person and that was wrong. So they are going to acknowledge when they reach out to you, having that conversation, and you allow the conversation to occur, the first thing they're going to do is apologize to you, and you're going to see how tortured they are in regard to the situation they themselves have created here. So you're going to see a person who's very much ashamed of their actions, specifically about the things they said to you. So again, you know best what this person has said, but they lied to you. They weren't honest with you in the past because it was easier for them. But the last couple of months, that has pretty much eaten your person alive, and now they really want to come forward here and speak the truth. So that's the good karma here, and that's what the Libra energy is doing for your guys' dynamic here, is that your person is going to offload everything that they held back from you in the past. So Spirit is telling me to caution you here, to expect very sudden movement and very fast movement, a person coming back around telling you their truth, and you should be prepared here. So are you willing to hear this person out or not? Maybe try to prepare a little bit for this conversation, as it's going to come in rather quickly here. But I want to know more. Can you tell me about this spirituality, practicality thing here, Spirit? Yes, you can. Thank you. A lot of fast energy here. Now again with that Eight of Wands. That's very fast movement. And the Eight of Wands is a card of communication. So this is just further clarification here and further proof that this person is on their way to communicate with you. The Hanged Man. They have gained a complete new perspective here. And I feel like I've said in the beginning, your person has become more spiritually conscious or aware. They might have gone through their own personal spiritual awakening here, over the last few months, and they are now more open to that side of themselves. So maybe they didn't really allow themselves to give into that in the past, but I'm getting that there is a portal that has been pushed open and your person walked through. And now they're also on the spiritual path when maybe in the past they didn't, and that's why your connection didn't work out. But now that they're also making the choice to spiritually evolve and grow, as a soul rather than maybe just a body, a human, but on a soul level, on a heart and soul level, that's when real movement is occurring here. So I'm also getting you had to move away from this person in the past, because the last time you guys talked and it ended so horribly here, you realized, okay, your person is not ready. It was a very hurtful and painful situation for you, but you had to distance yourself and detach as much as you could. But I'm getting you still care for this person a lot and you really want to mend the connection, but you have realized that your person isn't aware enough yet of their patterns, of their coping mechanisms, of what blocks them, what stands in their way, of their baggage here that they really haven't unpacked yet. And as long as they weren't ready to do that, you realized, okay, there's no point in me staying here waiting. I have to continue with my life. I have to get going. Maybe you moved shortly after that difficult conversation to another city or just to a new apartment. Maybe you bought a house is what I'm getting. Or you have been on some sort of short-term trip or vacation here, alone or with friends, to kind of get your mind off of the situation. But there's a part of you that always held on to this person, and you carry that connection that you have with that person here with you, no matter where you are and where you're going. So that might be something you realized here is no matter where you are and what you're doing and who you're with, this person is always there with you. So this could be a situation of really feeling unconditional love for someone here. And again, doesn't have to be in a romantic sense, can be, in regard to a family member as well, or to a good friend. We all know that friendship breakups can be just as hurtful as romantic breakups. So again, apply it to where it fits for you. But I see this person having a complete shift in perspective. They recognize and realize their mistakes, and they're willing to do right by you is what I'm getting. So that might also be significant here. I'm getting a lot of fire energy. So your person could be a Leo. I'm also getting Sagittarius. We obviously also have Gemini and Pisces. But I feel like this is your person speaking from an emotional place rather than a logical place. So maybe when they were very practical and again, seeming uninterested in the past, kind of pushing you off or telling you you're mistaken, no, I don't care about you at all, or something like that. You have always known that's not true, but your person lied to themselves and didn't want to see the truth. They now see the truth. They allow themselves to feel and give into their emotions a lot more. So you're going to get some sort of a very emotional, almost confession from this person. Okay, so what kind of advice can you give us here, Spirit? When this person comes around, what do you recommend for us here to do? Obviously, it's your choice. So if you don't want to hear this person out, say no. You have a free will. If you completely moved past this and found a way forward and you feel like the door is completely closed for this person, that's your choice. That's your prerogative. You can do whatever you want. But this person is desperate here to make things right. And I think I would actually hear them out. They literally can't sleep over this. Any sort of advice, Spirit? Thank you. Anything else? Thank you. One more, please. Thank you. Oh, another one. Thank you. Back at the deck, we have the High Priestess. Listen to your intuition here. If you're uncertain, maybe kind of freaking out right now, oh my gosh, I know who this is. I know what this is about. I don't know what to do now. Relax, calm down. Again, ground yourself. Go for a walk, meditate, journal on this. You know what's best for you. The more you go within, the more you'll know what's best for you. So Spirit is saying, listen to your intuition, trust your gut. It knows best. You have an inkling about what to do. You sense an energy. Focus on that. Listen to that. You're going to make the right decision for you and your life. You don't have to worry. We also have the Empress showing up and the Hierophant, followed by the Six of Cups and the last clarifier here was 5 of Swords. I feel like you have really empowered yourself here with the Empress energy. So after the situation didn't work out, you just went on your way, followed your purpose and your path, doing your thing. And Spirit is really saying, you know, congratulations here, because that's what Spirit wanted you to do, is to refocus on you and not focus so much on this person. You cannot heal this person. It's not your job to make them aware of what doesn't work in their life and what they need to look at and what they need to heal. You putting the energy back on you was the right thing to do. So Spirit is very proud of you. That's the first thing I'm getting. But also in terms of advice on how to handle this, let this person come to you. And if you feel called to allow them in, again, listen to your intuition, just listen, hear them out, listen to what they have to say. I feel like if you allow this person to speak, I see you in this very observant, kind of reserved energy, just, you know, observing and feeling things out, whether or not this person has actually changed or really understood what was in the way in the past or not. There might be a little bit of suspicion that this person is just acting or making things up, and Spirit wants you to know that's not true. This person is not trying to betray you. This might have happened in the past because they were unconscious, they were unaware of their patterns and their issues, but that has shifted here. They're still very much on the way of figuring some stuff out, but they wouldn't come forward if they wouldn't have come to some sort of realization and if they wouldn't have changed. That is something that Spirit feels called to tell you here. So hear them out if you feel called to. Listen to what they have to say. You don't have to make a decision right away, but also make sure that the past experience with this person is not standing in your way of making a decision here, because this person is changed. This person is shifting, and this person is coming in so fast because it's literally the most important thing for them right now to talk to you. You are the most important person for them. They don't care about what anyone else thinks of them. They want to heal the connection with you, and they want to do right by you. I keep hearing this. They want to do right by you. So maybe give the person the chance to do so, and whether or not you accept their apology or accept their offer of, I don't know, starting fresh is completely up to you. But don't project the past experience onto your guys' future, because the future is most likely to be completely different if you allow this person back in. Whew. All right, so that's what I'm getting here for you. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Love ya. Bye.